It was late 2005 when I first fired up Need for Speed Most Wanted. I had come from playing everyday racing games, but nothing prepared me for the thrill of this one. Suddenly, I had an entire city at my fingertips, and a BMW M3 GTR that felt like an extension of myself. I remember the HUD flashing "Most Wanted" over the engine's roar, and my heart pounding as police sirens wailed in the distance. This was more than a game, it felt like a cinematic street racing movie come to life. For context, Most Wanted put you in the role of a street racer locked in a feud with Rockport City's police while climbing a 15-driver blacklist to get your car back. You take on 15 of Rockport's most elite street racers to become the most wanted among them. That narrative backdrop made every race feel urgent, every victory feel like real revenge. When I finally climbed that ladder, the payoff was huge.
The world of Most Wanted, Rockport City, was impressively alive. Its downtown felt like New York, complete with brownstone buildings, Little Italy flair, and neon signs reminiscent of Times Square. Across town, Rosewood had a New England vibe with an Ivy League campus and winding autumn hills, and over by the coast, Point Camden offered Maine-style fishing villages and roller coaster hills. Driving through these distinct districts, each with its own flavor, sold me on the open-world idea. It felt like a mini-movie in every zip code.
Rather than funnel you through fixed circuits, Most Wanted threw you into Rockport from the start. This open-world structure let me chase opponents through city tunnels, jump gaps on highways, or duck into back alleys when police helicopters spotted me. Rockport was divided into 3 zones that unlocked as I beat blacklist racers, so defeating one boss might open up a whole new section of the map. I could freely explore the industrial riverfront one moment and rural backroads the next. The graphics might look dated now, but the feeling of freedom was vivid. I remember drifting through tight city alleys and then bolting onto a highway. The city was my playground.
Even the race events had an open road twist. Classic races were there, point-to-point sprints, checkpoints, drag strips, but Most Wanted reimagined them with shortcuts and traffic. You weren't just on a closed track. Real intersections, traffic lights, and off-road segments loomed ahead. This design encouraged me to learn the city. Memorizing that one alley shortcut could make the difference in a chase. It was a breath of fresh air, an arcade racer that felt huge and free.
But the real heart-pounding moments came when the police showed up. Most Wanted's pursuit system was on a whole other level. The developers even said this was the game's major highlight, far more in-depth than in past Need for Speed titles. Cops chased relentlessly with spike strips, roadblocks, and even helicopters when your heat went high. Suddenly, any street race became a cat-and-mouse game.
The career mode threw special milestone challenges at me that guaranteed nail-biting chases. For example, Mia, the game's guide, might instruct, "Get into a police pursuit and escape within X seconds," or "Stay chased for Y minutes." These tasks mixed adrenaline and strategy. I'd weave through traffic, swap lanes to shake tailing cruisers, or trigger a gas station pump to blow away multiple cop cars at once. Every siren blare and radio crackle felt cinematic, and I found my palms sweating. It made me tense up every time those red and blue lights appeared. Most Wanted didn't just have cops, it made dodging them the core of the thrill.
The whole game was wrapped around climbing the blacklist, the 15 toughest street racers in Rockport. Defeating each one unlocked the next area of the city and new performance parts. The stakes were enormous. Every head-to-head with a blacklist racer was a pink slip showdown, meaning if I lost, I'd lose my own car. That twist kept me glued to the screen. I couldn't just restart without consequence. Every win felt like personal redemption. I'll never forget my final showdown with Clarence Razor Callahan in his famous M3 GTR. Beating him felt like winning a boss battle. When Mia snatched the keys and I sped off in his car, it was pure adrenaline.
Beneath the surface, the gameplay mechanics in Most Wanted struck a smart balance. Tuning your car felt meaningful. Each engine upgrade, suspension tweak, or better tires made a noticeable difference in speed and handling. Customization existed, but was fairly streamlined. Basically, whole body kits and one vinyl stripe for looks. The main goal of these visual mods was actually to reduce your heat level, not just to show off. The real focus was on performance. Even the nitrous system was revamped for this game. Rather than earning NOS by drifting or stunts, the boost recharged automatically as long as you were moving. That small change kept the races flowing. I could tap nitrous repeatedly to pull off perfect escapes from the cops. There was also a new speed breaker ability, kind of like racing bullet time, which I could use to slow down time briefly and power my way through tough spots. Using it to drift out of a tight turn or crash past a blockade became one of my favorite tricks. Most Wanted trusted me to drive fast. It just gave me those little edge tools to spice things up.
All these mechanics were wrapped in a striking style. The graphics had a gritty, cinematic look for 2005. Golden sunlight bouncing off skyscrapers and neon glow on the streets at night. Most iconic was Razer's BMW M3 GTR with its silver blue livery. That car's design and even its engine roar left a lasting impression. BMW themselves noted this striking M3 has become part of gaming and pop culture. I still think of that car every time I see an M3. The game's soundtrack pumped out heavy rock and hip-hop that made every chase feel even more intense. Even the cheesy voiceovers, Eric Estrada as a cop, and text message story cutscenes had charm. Together, they made me feel like the outlaw star of my own action film.
In short, Most Wanted looked and sounded like a dream. The city lit up, the engines blared, and the music blared in my headphones. Every detail, from the lens flare on a taillight to the gleam on a hood, was designed to make you feel pumped to race or flee. It wasn't just about racing fast. It was about the atmosphere of being on the run.
Decades later, Need for Speed Most Wanted still feels like a benchmark. It sold over 18 million copies and was the best-selling NFS game of all time. More importantly, it quietly set a template for street racing games to come. Many later racing titles borrowed its DNA: an open city playground, a heat chase meter, over-the-top police tactics, and a story-driven career, even if no one admits it. Those ideas worked so well that they became genre staples.
The love for Most Wanted has endured. For the series' 20th anniversary, BMW even built a tribute version of the game's M3 GTR and displayed it in a museum, honoring how much that car and game resonated with fans. Rockport City's neon glow, the roar of the M3 engine, the thrill of the chase. It's all still vivid in my memory. Every time I sit in traffic now, part of me half expects the sirens to start wailing. Need for Speed Most Wanted 2005 proved that street racing games could be more than time trials and podiums. They could be cinematic, living worlds full of tension and style, and that is its true legacy.
Need for Speed Most Wanted didn't just add features, it delivered an experience that felt personal and alive. In Rockport City, under flashing lights and roaring engines, I found a racing game that perfectly captured a youthful rebel dream. And that is why Most Wanted changed the way we feel about arcade racers.